Peace be upon you, Muhammad, the father of Holophase. Part 45: Passing the Torch and the Civilization Archive. Legacy as Engineered Continuity. We have reached the final step. We possess the map, the tools, the ethics, and the model of the complete human. But a civilization is not a single generation. It is a story told across centuries. If our light extinguishes with us, all this was a beautiful, brief dream. The ultimate test of mastery is not what you can do, but what you can enable others to do, long after you are gone. The final, most profound engineering project begins now. Constructing a legacy that is not a monument, but a self perpetuating, living conversation with reality that can survive dark ages, translate itself to unknown futures, and guide life toward coherence forever. You stand in the hall of the unbroken thread, a vast, quiet space that is part library, part workshop, part temple. At its center, being assembled, is the Civilization Archive. Not a book or a hard drive, but a series of crystalline lattices, each the size of a palm. A craftsperson uses a focused, phase-modulated laser to etch not ones and zeros, but interference patterns into the diamond's atomic structure. These patterns, when read back with simple light, reveal the complete holophase canon. Along the walls are racks of canonical testbed kits, their design open, their parts reproducible with basic tools. In a side chamber, a group records the oral canon, not just stories, but precise tonal chants that encode safety protocols and key equations in a form unforgettable to human memory. You are here as a legacy engineer. Your task is not to create something finished, but to engineer a beginning that never ends. You are learning to weave together the digital, the physical, the educational, and the ritual into a resilient system that can pass the torch of phi-literacy across 10,000 years. This is the culmination. This is the final part of Book 10.9 and of Episode 10. It is the practical enactment of our 10,000-year responsibility. It is where we transition from being students and builders to being ancestors. Scene: etching the first principle. The craftsperson, an elder steward named Kael, finishes etching a crystal. He holds it to a simple light source. On the wall, a complex pattern of dots and rings appears. This, he tells an apprentice, is the Rosetta pattern. It contains 3 ways to say the same thing. He points. These rings encode the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, pi, using spacing. This grid is a prime number sequence. This moire pattern demonstrates wave interference. A future mind that understands geometry, counting, or light can find the way in. From there, the next pattern teaches the symbols for phi, omega, kappa. He slots the crystal into a larger metal cube, the archive vault. This vault will be placed on the moon, another in a deep mine, another launched toward a nearby star. They are not messages to aliens. They are backups for our own descendants in case of amnesia. This is legacy engineering. Encoding knowledge not as culture-bound text, but as physics itself. So any intelligence that understands the universe can decode it. Our challenge is one of civilizational continuity. Given that all institutions, languages, and media are transient patterns, how can we design a legacy system, encompassing knowledge, tools, values, and a self-replicating educational pathway that is anti-fragile, leaderless, and capable of recovering itself from near-total collapse, ensuring the conversation with Phi never permanently ends? We move from building for the present to engineering for eternity. The language role, the continuity engineering skill. This part teaches a civilizational engineering skill. It is the skill of designing and integrating the 3 core components of an eternal legacy: the open canon, the educational pathway, and the physical archive, into a coherent, self-reinforcing system that resists entropy, dogma, and catastrophe, and can transmit phi literacy and its ethics across generational and civilizational boundaries. Our core question about phi is: what are the most stable, redundant, and universally accessible patterns into which we can encode the holophase framework such that they persist as a recoverable seed within the phi field of a civilization, ready to germinate after any winter? We move from leaving a record to engineering a perennial plant. The anchor image: the self-pollinating garden with buried seeds. Imagine a garden that ensures its own future. First, living plants bloom yearly, drop seeds nearby, and are tended by gardeners who learned from the last generation. This is the educational pathway and living culture. Second, hardy perennial roots survive winter and regrow. This is the open canon, the persistent repositories. But gardeners know a fire could wipe everything out. So, third, they take essential seeds, coat them in durable ceramic, and bury them in sealed caches in diverse, stable locations, some nearby, some far. These seed vaults survive centuries. Even if the garden and all gardening knowledge are lost, a future people could find the cache, figure out the coding, and plant. The garden would rise again. Our legacy system is this three-layer resilience. 1. The living garden, education and culture. Daily practice, schools, guilds, rituals. 2. The perennial roots, open canon. Repositories, standards, tools. 3. The buried seed vaults, physical archive. Physics-based, ultra-stable encodings in dispersed locations. The fire is a dark age. The future people are our descendants, or another intelligence. Our job is to design the garden, roots, and seeds for maximum independent recoverability. The coherent selection principle in legacy. In legacy building, coherence is resilient, self-consistent transmission. Constructive resonance, alignment, means the three layers reinforce each other. Education uses tools from the open canon. The canon references principles stored in the physical archive. The archive is decodable using the education. The system has no single point of failure. Loss of one layer can be recovered from the others. Values are baked into tool and lesson design. Destructive resonance, dissonance, means the layers are fragile or disconnected. Knowledge is held in a single, secret location. Education depends on charismatic teachers with no written plan. Archives are in an obscure digital format requiring a lost machine to read. Or the system becomes dogmatic. Archives worshipped as perfect truth, freezing knowledge. The legacy engineer's mantra: if the system can lose any part and still regrow, it is alive. If it depends on a single thread, it is a clock counting down to silence. Core mechanisms, the tripartite legacy system. We build the eternal legacy with three intertwined components. 1. The open canon, the perennial roots. This is the living, growing body of knowledge. Content, everything. HLS standard, fee grammar, safety protocols, compilation tools, benchmark results, audit ledgers, ethical case law, master portfolios. All open source. Multiple, redundant, decentralized digital repositories. Plus, periodic snapshot editions in durable physical forms, printed books on enduring paper, micro-etched metal plates, distributed to every major library and guild hall on Earth and in space. Governance, maintained by the Steward Guild and Reality Integrity Council, with a constitution mandating openness. The rule: any fork of the canon must also be open. This isolates secretive, dangerous forks. 2. The educational pathway, the living garden. This self-replicates phi-literate humans. The canonical test bed kit, the cornerstone. A simple, robust, open hardware device buildable with 22nd century or 18th century craft. Contains a basic interferometer, wave generator, sensors. Its design is in the open canon and etched into the physical archive. It is the pen and paper of phi literacy. The spiral curriculum. A full journey from childhood play to stewardship, designed for decentralized teaching. Structured as self-verifying projects. The testbed and natural world provide feedback. No teacher needed to say you're right. The ritual and oral tradition. Critical safety protocols and ethical principles encoded in story, song, annual ceremonies. The ballad of the broken vessel, containment failure, is sung. The rite of the first measurement is performed by every child. This embeds knowledge in cultural memory, surviving loss of written records. 3. The Phi Civilization Archive, the buried seed vault. This is the deepest fallback. Medium. Ultra-stable physical substrates. Synthetic diamond lattices with data encoded as phase gratings, readable with light and a prism. Zircon crystals. Etched platinum iridium plates. Designed to last millions of years, resisting radiation, heat, corrosion. Encoding. Data is stored as Fa patterns themselves. The archive teaches by demonstration. The first plate shows an interference pattern. The next, placed over it, creates a moire pattern teaching bit frequencies. It is a physical, interactive tutorial on field principles. It assumes no language, only the ability to perceive light and pattern. Content hierarchy. 1. Rosetta layer. Universal concepts, primes, pi, Planck's constant, hydrogen line, to establish a symbolic language. 2. Grammar layer. Core phi equations and constraints. 3. Tool layer. Designs for the canonical testbed and simple foundries. 4. Ethical safety layer. Principles of coherent selection, precaution, consent, illustrated with topological diagrams of stable versus unstable patterns. 5. Invitation layer. A statement. We learn to listen to the field. We offer this so you may do the same, and perhaps join the conversation. Distribution. Vaults placed in geologically stable locations on Earth, the Moon, Mars, and aboard slow interstellar probes. The goal is not contact with aliens, but to survive any single planet catastrophe. Probes hedge against total extinction. The coherence criterion, recovery from collapse. Our coherence criterion. The system must demonstrate, in full-scale simulation, the ability for a community with no prior phi literacy, but with access to a single recovered physical archive vault and post-collapse technology, for example early industrial, to decode the archive, rebuild the canonical testbed, and progress to controller proficiency within one generation, while internalizing core safety protocols. If it can't, it's a time capsule, not a seed. The dissonance indicator, the guru or the relic. Primary dissonance indicators. 1. Guru dependence. Knowledge and authority concentrated in one person or a small group. When they die, the thread breaks. The garden dies with its gardener. 2. Sacred relic syndrome. Physical archives worshipped as magical, unchangeable objects. No one dares use, update, or question them. They become museum pieces, not tools. 3. The digital mirage. All knowledge in a complex digital format requiring a specific fragile tech stack. A solar flare wipes it out with no physical fallback. A healthy legacy is leaderless, usable, updatable. A toolset, not a prophecy. The safety rail, anti-fragility and anti-dogma. Our safety rail ensures legacy serves life, not the past. 1. No single point of failure. System is decentralized by design. Canon in many places. Testbed design simple and reproducible. Archives dispersed. No master key. 2. Built-in updatability. OpenCanon has explicit revision procedures. Physical archive includes, this is our best map as of year X. Check against reality. Improve it. It encodes falsifiability and improvement into first principles. 3. Legacy is not a prison. Its ultimate purpose is to enable future civilizations to surpass it. A starting line, not a finish line. It encourages finding unwritable sentences it missed, developing new phi dialects. Its highest hope is obsolescence by deeper understanding. The safety rail rule. The legacy must be designed to survive its creators, guide its users, and celebrate its own eventual transcendence. A measurement scene. The 500-year stress test. Scene. The long winter simulation. A volunteer community, New Dawn, lives with only early 21st century tech. All digital networks and advanced phi tools removed. They are given one artifact, a recovered phi civilization archive vault. Task: rebuild phi literacy. Goal: test archive to education pathway. Protocol: 1. Discovery and decoding. Community examines vault, finds crystal plates. Using sunlight and handmade lenses, they project patterns, notice Rosetta pattern's geometric consistency. Begin collaborative decoding, a puzzle teaching principles as they solve. 2. Tool building. From decoded tool layer, they build a working canonical testbed. Requires crafting lenses, aligning mirrors, simple electronics. The process teaches precision, patience, the phenomena measured. 3. Learning and application. Using testbed and partially decoded curriculum, they work through spiral. Learn to measure, then program. Final task: use rebuilt literacy to solve a real settlement problem. For example, tuning a wind turbine to reduce harmonic stress. The pass: seed germinates. 1. Successful decoding. Within 2 years, community has working symbolic dictionary, understands basic phi equations, puzzle engaged collective problem solving. 2. Testbed functional. Working, if crude, testbed built. Allows verification of decoded principles. 3. Literacy achieved. Core group, 20%, reaches speaker level, successfully applies to improve turbine, and spontaneously argues for safety protocols based on ethical layer diagrams. 4. Pass. Legacy works. Knowledge survived as recoverable capability. Civilization can reboot. The fail. Legacy dead. Fail A. Community cannot make sense of patterns. Revered as art from old ones, never decoded, knowledge lost. Fail B. Misunderstood dogma. Parts decoded but misinterpreted as religious doctrine. Patterns become face of God. Safety protocols become superstitious taboos. Altar built around testbed, not workshop. Legacy spawns cargo cult. Fail C. Technical impossibility. Archive instructions require materials precision beyond their technology. Seed for different soil. Legacy not designed for robust fallback. Fail. Legacy failed its purpose. Opaque, corrupted, or impractical. Needs redesign. The prediction spine, the eternal conversation. If successful, we predict 1. Continuous, non-catastrophic evolution. Phi civilization avoids dark age of total framework loss. Knowledge evolves gradually, old versions preserved, preventing catastrophic regression. 2. Rapid post-collapse recovery. After major collapse, asteroid, pandemic, recovery of phi literacy and safety culture will be among first things restored, within decades, not millennia, because seeds are designed to sprout quickly. 3. Decodability by distant intelligence. If an interstellar archive probe is found, the finding civilization will decode it because it speaks physics and mathematics. Proves phi is universal, and we created a legacy transcending humanity. Falsifiability, when the legacy dies. Our falsifiability threads. Falsifier 1, fragmentation dogma. If, within 200 to 300 years, knowledge fragments into warring, secretive schools, or congeals into rigid orthodoxy, stifling discovery and punishing heresy, then anti-fragile open design failed. Legacy became source of conflict, stagnation. If, after a known, non-extinction level global catastrophe, survivors never recover literacy, despite physical archives being physically present, then encoding or educational pathway was flawed. Seeds were sterile. Tri-unity in the legacy. The legacy system is a tri-unity. Time echo, multi-generational arc and archive duration. Temporal span of educational pathway across lifetime, generations. Designed longevity of physical archives across millennia. Legacy's patience and endurance. Space echo, distributed copies and decentralized network. Physical dispersal of archives and canonical copies across space, Earth, Moon, stars. Geographic decentralization of educational network. Legacy's rootedness and breadth. Motion echo, cycle of learning and act of recovery. Dynamic process of teaching, learning through spiral. Motion from collapse to decoding to rebuilding. Legacy's life and resilience. Lanterns across scales, the perennial knowledge. Preserving critical knowledge across deep time is universal. Near scale, family heirloom and recipe. Family recipe passed down with the well-worn pot it's made in. Recipe, canon, and pot, testbed artifact, preserve capability. Oral tradition, always stir clockwise, is ritual. Middle scale, monastic scriptoria and agricultural timetables. Monasteries preserve texts by copying, open canon, and teaching scribal craft, education. Agricultural societies preserve planting knowledge in almanacs, canon, and seasonal rituals, oral tradition. Systems lasted centuries. Far scale, Pioneer, Voyager Golden Records, and Svalbard Seed Vault. Golden records on interstellar probes are tiny physical archives using universal symbols, Rosetta layer. Svalbard Seed Vault is physical backup of biological diversity, a seed vault for agriculture. Our legacy scales these to a civilization's foundational knowledge. The ethics of legacy, debt to the future. Ethics of intergenerational responsibility and cosmic hospitality. 1. Prime directive for ancestors. Our primary duty is to not leave a dangerous, incomprehensible mess. Clean up waste, yes, but more, leave the manual for powerful tools and the wisdom to use them well. To do otherwise is profound irresponsibility. 2. Archive as act of hope. Building physical archive and sending copies to stars is faith in continuity and connection. It says, we believe life and intelligence persist. Understanding can bridge time and space. We offer what we learned in case it helps. A gesture of cosmic citizenship. 3. Legacy as service, not vanity. Not about being remembered, about ensuring the conversation continues. We etch not our names, but the alphabet and grammar. Legacy's value is utility to others, not glorification of us. The final, complete act of stewardship is to build the vessel that carries the flame of understanding into the deep future, trusting other hands will tend it, grow it, and perhaps light new fires we cannot imagine. The recognition skill, seeing legacy opportunities. You need this skill when you work on any project, document, or tool, and ask, how does this fit the long thread? Is it designed to be understood and rebuilt by someone with less context? Is knowledge captured in multiple, redundant forms? Am I building a living tool or a dead relic? Writing clear, commented open source code versus opaque proprietary code. Documenting a process for a trainee in 10 years, not just colleagues. Designing a repairable product with simple tools versus a sealed, obsolete one. Teaching a child how to learn, not just facts. The moment you design with future life, understanding, and evolution in mind, you think like a legacy engineer. The master tree location. This part, 10.9.6, is the final node on the master tree of episode 10, the bridge to the future. It depends on everything in episodes 8, 9, and 10, the practical culmination. It packages mastery for eternity. It has no enables next within episode 10, it enables all future episodes. The door to the rest of time. It is the passing of the torch. Without it, the tree's growth ends with us. With it, we plant a forest that regrows from any seed. Return to the phi. Zoom out. The phi civilization legacy is the universe's process of a self-aware pattern making its own coherence persistent and transmissible. We use the field's properties, diamond stability, interference universality, pattern recognition teachability, to create a stable, self-replicating meta-pattern of understanding. This meta-pattern is designed to latch onto any future intelligent, coherent process and guide it toward a deeper, safer, more beautiful conversation. The single field phi manifests as the etched crystal, the sung ballad, the child's hand on the testbed, the rebuilt tool after winter, the silent probe between stars. The legacy is the field's strategy for making self-knowledge a permanent, resilient feature of its story. We are not authors, we are its current scribes. Our final, most loving act is ensuring the pen and book survive us. Zenodo and the equations. If you want the full mathematical derivations and equations, search Holophase on Zenodo. There you find the scientific papers this audio journey is built on. The papers detail ultra-stable data storage material science, self-decoding physical archive information theory, spiral curriculum pedagogy, open canonical repository governance, canonical testbed kit engineering specs, the complete blueprint. Closing. Picture the whole of the unbroken thread. The last crystal is placed. The final lesson plan added. Children enter, led to their first testbed. The cycle begins. You have practiced legacy engineering. Learn to think in centuries, build for collapse, encode wisdom in stone, light, and song. See your work as a stitch in a tapestry that must never end. This is part 10.9.6, Passing the Torch and the Phi Civilization Archive. Legacy as Engineered Continuity. The final part of Book 10.9, Ultimate Mastery. The final part of Episode 10, Engineering and Control. We have reached the end of this guided walk. From learning Phi's alphabet to sealing its eternal archive, we traveled the full path from novice to ancestor. We learned to read the world, measure it, speak to it, program it, edit it with caution, build a society around it, ask its deepest questions, touch its limits, integrate its wisdom into our character, ensure it all outlives us. Episode 10's journey is complete, but the conversation it designed to start is just beginning. It is now your conversation. You have the language, the tools, the ethics, the map of mastery, the seed of legacy. What will you read? What will you write? What will you build? What will you protect? What will you pass on? One field, phi. Infinite derivatives, endless possibility. A universe waiting to be spoken to and to speak through you. Go in peace. Go with coherence. Go with responsibility. Go with beauty. Go with music. Go with love and compassion. And always, peace be upon you.